Hey everyone. So in this video, I wanted to talk about role passives and how I think they should be completely removed from the game. And yeah, I know I went straight into it, but to be honest, not only do I think it's bad for the game, I feel like there was no reason to even add it to the game, other than, something Blizzard could point at and be like, hey, Overwatch 2 is definitely not Overwatch 1, we got role passives. This is so cool. Like, role passives weren't necessary or even asked for. The big problem with these things is that, well, first, it's the value of all of these passives are not equal. I don't think anyone would object to the fact that the support passive is insanely more useful than the other two passives combined. And as I'm typing the script, I'm getting even more annoyed that nothing has been done to address this. Like, this is such a big, obvious problem in at least the disparity of the usefulness of the role passives that it kind of ties into the big critique against Blizzard, right? Or the Overwatch team or something. That the things take a really long time to be fixed, and they have been getting much better at it, right? And making a video game is hard. I understand all that, but this problem is just, I don't know. I feel like this would have been something on the priority list to fix. The second problem is, and probably even more important, maybe not as important, I don't know, probably more important, is that even with the characters within the each role, like, they don't benefit from the passive roles like equally. Some honestly don't benefit from it like at all, and some, like, they have another ability that's very similar to that one ability, so it just kind of stacks. So there's like this weird, I don't know, disproportionate. Like, it's not even like a band-aid. It's just like, I don't know, like somebody spilled some water. Let's say like milk. Let's say somebody like spilled some milk and you just put a rug over it. But later on, it's gonna smell. It's gonna be bad. So I'm just gonna say it. Like, role passives are dumb. They are dumb. They're a very lazy way to address. I don't even know what they were trying to address in the game. In all honesty, I have no idea what they were trying to address in the game when they were added. Especially with the two reasons I just gave. Like, these things should be applied to different characters, like, on a case-by-case basis. And the big reason is that Overwatch is such a diverse game in, like, design and creativity that you can't have a standard ability that just kind of does all the characters. Like, it's not possible. One of the best things about Overwatch is the character designs, like, and how they play, and just how wild they can be with, like, some of the characters. For example, Doomfist is a first-person fighter. Well, at least he was in Overwatch 1. And then Wrecking Ball it's a hamster and a ball from space. So, like, they're so unique, you can't just have something that you think will work for everybody. So anyways, let's start going through each of the passives and why they all are just not good for the game. So the tank passive is you get an extra 30% knockback resistance, and you generate 30% less ult charge for whoever's attacking or healing you. So the 30% less ult charge, I get it. That's not, I'm not really mad at that. I would say that, and it depends on where you fall on my next point. The ultimates in the game in Overwatch 1 were one of the coolest things that people loved watching about the game, right? You get much more of those moments where it's just like, oh my gosh, he just shattered 5 people, or like, oh my gosh, this thing just happened, like all that type of stuff. So I do think that maybe reducing the amount of ults you get maybe wasn't, it depends on what you think about it. Maybe it wasn't that good, but maybe it was good, right? Because again, me as a Doomfist player, I get my ultimate like 5-7 times like a match, so that's not an issue for me at all. But like all the other characters, they get it maybe 2 to 3, maybe 4 times in a match. So I don't know, but this doesn't bother me too much. It makes sense, right? You have freaking like Roadhogs just walking around, just just giving ult charge to like all the Genjis and everybody, just kind of poking at him, and it's I can see why they did that. So no real complaints there. I can understand that. But as for the second one, other than Rhine, and maybe Junker Queen and Doomfist, but I've never even tested that, so I can't really speak on that. But other than Rhine, this isn't necessary for any tank. And honestly, Rhine is so easily countered now. It should probably only be exclusive to him as something that is his like specific perk against maybe certain, very CCing characters. Because as many other tanks have like ways to kind of make their own CC mitigation, right? You have Orisa that can turn herself all metal. You got Fortify. You got Zarya who has her bubble. You got what's his name, Mauga, who could just run through things. So it may be for those characters, it's kind of not just redundant. Well, not redundant because it's not on all the time, but it stacks. Right, when Reinhardt is the guy who really needs it more than anybody else. So if everybody has something, is it even like really special anymore? Okay, so now let's talk about the DPS passive. The DPS passive is so dumb. it's I forgot what happened in Overwatch 2 at the beginning where they did something that was just so silly. I was like, you guys don't even like care about this game. Like you guys, somebody just threw something on the wall and they were just like, okay. The DPS passive is dumb. So what it is you get an increased 35% reload speed for 2.5 seconds after you earn a kill or an elimination. And I guess it happens often enough, right? Because you don't need to be the person who has actually, eliminated the person. You can just kind of shoot them once and then somebody else finishes them off and then you get it. At least I think that's how it works. But it's the most useless passive of all of these. Like, does Hanzo even reload? And honestly, I don't even think I know. I've played Hanzo for maybe 5 minutes in Overwatch 1, like the second year it was out. So back when he still had the what do you call that? The spreading arrows. But maybe I can see it useful for characters who have really bad reload times, like Ashe, I guess Genji. But then again, I don't know. Maybe more, but I can't remember. But on top of that, to activate this passive, you actually have to do something. So you, unlike all the other characters, you have to like perform to be able to get access to your role passive. And I don't know. Anyways, I don't know what else to really say about this. I think it's pretty clear that this is kind of silly, mainly in comparison to the other role passives. So yeah, I think we can just move on to the support passive. I would like to interrupt this video to ask you to like and subscribe. If you made it this far in the video, chances are you kind of like what I'm talking about. So, help me out, guys. Now for what everyone's been waiting for and why we're all here. The support passive is insanely overpowered. It's insane. Hence why I said insanely. So as you know, after not taking damage for a measly 2 seconds, and note that this is the same amount of time it takes for Sombra to, go invisible automatically. After not taking damage for 2 seconds, they start to recover 15 HP a second. That is crazy, especially because they don't even have that much HP, right? Like 200. And don't forget, they now also do as much damage as actual DPS characters. And most of them also have get out of jail free cards, like Lifeweaver's Petal, Mora's Fade, Kiriko's Teleport, etc. So these buttons get them out of trouble literally long enough for them to start healing themselves. And it's not even like a skill thing, it's just you press a button and it does it for you. But I think it's important for us to get a little bit more specific, right? Let's say you're dueling another character, or let's say you're, like poke meta, right? Let's say you're poking at the enemy team. You're Ashe, and you're poking against, let's say Baptiste, right? Just to make this as severe as it can be, right? You're shooting at him a little bit, you're getting some hits in. He's shooting at you, he's getting some hits in. And, you're like dipping in and out, peeking, trying to see what's happening. And then he stops peeking for like 5 seconds. Well, guess what? He's full health now. You're not. Without even using any of his cooldowns. He's full health now, and you're not. But if you want some healing, you need somebody else to come, your support character to come heal you, use their resources, use their resources on you, right? Instead of healing somebody else like the tank or maybe another character that could use it. Either, or you need to go and find a health pack. You need to move around, get out of your position, and go find a health pack, and then come back. That guy just needs to stand there, out of line of sight for like 5 seconds, and everything you did is gone. Like that is kind of absurd. Especially, and it's not just the passive by itself, which by itself it also is really, it's so big. But mixed in with everything else, again, I'm not gonna go into the whole support video that I made last week, but oh my gosh, like oh my gosh. In another video, I jokingly said that if support characters are so good at DPSing, maybe DPS characters should have support qualities, right? So maybe this passive healing should apply to all the DPS characters, right? But then again, if everybody has it, it doesn't mean anything. And also, no, that's a bad idea, Blizzard. I know they're just wanting to put more healing in the game. But yeah, anyways, it was kind of like in Overwatch, not Overwatch, what am I thinking? In Halo, right? Where they had that, the self-heal mechanic that I think all other games adopted. And I think Call of Duty had it too. Actually, I don't know who had it first. Because I remember in GoldenEye, you had to find health packs. GoldenEye and the Metroid Prime 2 series. When you were doing multiplayer, you had to find like health packs. But even bringing up the shield regeneration from Halo, that ties into kind of the next point. Before, if I can remember correctly, the way they did this self-healing mechanic was done through shields. Not armor, shields. Shields is what Zarya has, and Zen has, and Symmetra has. So if you were out of combat for a certain amount of time, your shield will kind of regenerate. And it was part of your health, so your actual health wouldn't regenerate, it'll just be your shield. So you don't always get, healed full HP. That's how they did it before. It was much more creative. And to keep going with the example with Zenyatta, the reason Zenyatta had it, the reason why it was a Zenyatta thing, was because Zenyatta, when he had 0 mobility, right? And in order for him to be useful, he had to keep line of sight of whoever had his Harmony or Discord orb on. So that mixed together made it very unlikely that he's gonna leave whatever position he's in, go find a health pack, and then come back. Because he's just essentially out of a fight or out of the game for like, I don't know, 10 seconds or something like that. So that made sense for him. And this is what I said earlier. Some things should be tailored to characters who need it, not just everybody. Other support characters, let's look at Anna. Before, she had to make a decision whether she's going to use her nade on herself or she's going to use it on her teammate or on the enemy team. There was there was this whole thing, use it for combat or use it for survival. Now she doesn't need to use it for survival unless she's being dived on, because she knows if she just waits, and she's a sniper, so she's usually kind of in a safe place. She knows if she just waits, she's just going to heal herself. And I think they're doing it also a more creative way of doing it to Mercy, right? When she's healing somebody, it heals her. That is a way to go around, because again, a character like her, she's entirely dependent on the value she can bring to the team. Like, she's literally attached to people to increase their damage or their healing. So there's ways to do it without just throwing a really bad moldy rug on top of the milk you spilled on the floor. But now Mercy has her self-healing thing when she's healing people, and she has this passive, which I believe they stack. I'm pretty sure they stack. But a dude like Baptiste, why does Baptiste need this? He already has an almost instant self-heal. He has the immortality field. He has the mega jump to move out of the way of attacks. And he does more damage than Soldier. And you give him this passive? Like, for what reason? Like come on. So, I guess in conclusion, or in short, this is why we need to get rid of role passives in the game, like entirely. It's an incredibly lazy way to add value and try to balance things. Not only are the passives not equal in value to each role, but they're not even equal in value to like each character in each of those roles. So, we don't need it. Some get to stack on each other with like the character's own abilities. Some characters don't even get to use the abilities like Hanzo. So if something is needed, it should be done on a case-by-case basis. Like Ryan having CC reduction because he can't fight unless he's in the thick of it. Or Zenyatta, having his passive healing due to the fact that he can't heal himself and he can't move and he needs to keep line of sight. But again, even with that, there are more creative ways than just, okay, here's passive healing, right? They had the whole shield system, or the way Mercy heals others to heal herself. Or Brig, the more she fights, the more she heals, right? Now she doesn't even need to fight to heal. So yeah, I think that's it for my little rant. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you think I'm completely wrong. Let me know if you think there needs to be more, which I don't think anybody does. But if you do, all ideas and opinions are welcomed. So don't forget to leave a comment for the algorithm, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And also don't forget, I love you.